to get started today. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. The InventHelp Databank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Get started today. Go to inventhelp.com for free information.
The hunger, the consistency continues. It's been a phenomenal 13 months for Shubman Gill. Loves batting at this venue. His second 100 in ODI cricket.
Let's have a look at the 100 here. Put the pressure on David Warner. And that's another thing that's been a feature today. He's running between wickets. Look at that smile. It's a scary sign for Australia too, because in January this year, we got 208 in a one-day against New Zealand. You speak a lot about that hunger, and that's what we're going to see now, I think. Enjoy that moment, young man. Well played.
Interesting you mentioned that double 100 at the start of the year. And what I took out from that innings was his reading of the game in that situation. Every time a wicket went, when he was getting 200, unlike here, there were wickets that were falling around him. And every time a wicket fell, he took on the spinner and smashed him for a couple of sixes with the first two balls. And put the pressure back on the opposition. In doing that, he never lost his rhythm or his momentum. Clear signs of maturity there. And he's gone from strength to strength after that. If he stays for another 6-7 overs, then you could have some exciting times here, especially the crowd that's watching it.
Two centurions in the same game, and what a partnership it was between the two of them. But Shubman Gill,
it's right from the outset. Some lovely shots, and it's all cricketing shots. I think Karthik mentioned a little while earlier, nothing flash about his batting. It's all clean, pace and spin come alike to him. And his purple patch continues.
The most impressive thing to me about Gill's innings is, yes, we talk about his hunger, and the gears he uses, but knowing when to use those gears. We've seen Australia bowl really well to him at the start. They tied him down, but he earned the right to get through that stage. And have a look there. It's all formats in 2023. 700s and 650s. I don't think he's finished today with those scores.
he's eyeing a big one. That's what he wants to do. 235 for 2. A lot more pleasant compared to Chandigarh. A little bit of rain and then immediate sunshine obviously ups the humidity level. We saw Shreyas Iyer cramping a bit in the course of that partnership, and you can feel that Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, who's just walked in and getting a few drinks in just to make sure that they are hydrated. This ground right in the middle of the city.
He's also shown his cricket brain here. He's taken his shoe off and pad off, pretended there was something in his shoe, just to give himself that 2-3 minutes to recover. We know how hot it is out there. That's very, very good cricket smarts, just to give yourself 2 minutes break.
Yes, just regather your thoughts, that those emotions of 100 settle down. And you say, and look at the scoreboard and say 16 overs left. So that is 96 balls. If I can bat 50 balls of them, what can happen? And that'll be in his mind. Or if I can deal with even 15 of those 50 balls properly, all hell could break loose here.
You think of the number of runs he has scored in this calendar year, Ravi, just in this format alone. 1,221 runs now. Just bringing back something which Harsh had mentioned earlier. 1894, the record set by Sachin Tendulkar. And he's got, what, 9 games in World Cup, and hopefully a few more in South Africa. So definitely, if he continues with that form, that record could be broken very easily. Yeah, but a man at the other end who's been dismissed, battling different things himself. A bit of form, a bit of injury, comeback. Again, a mighty fine innings from Shreyas Iyer. Beautiful timing, just wonderful timing.
This man, he deserves a lot about Shubman Gill's innings. He was the one who took the pressure off early in the innings.
Where is that going? That's headed towards the Kapil Dev stand.
It might be over the stand for all you know. That's a big blow from Rahul. And the two might have had a chat there and said, okay, you've got 100, you might be tiring, you take your time, I'm going to go after it. I think it's hit the roof, or might have just cleared the ground as well. This looked like as if it's gone out of the ground. First side up. They're asking for new balls. Yeah, on the roof. Back of the stadium. And languishes somewhere in the city centre.
And he's had a go at the solar panels. He was the one to inaugurate it. It's somewhere there. Right at the start of the game, it was KL Rahul who had inaugurated these solar panels. Ominous signs, Brad.
It's a good learning, though, for young Cameron Green. These are the conditions he's going to face in the World Cup. He's got 2 set batsmen, and this is where he's going to have to bowl his overs. He's going to have to find a way to use his change-ups, find different ways to get wickets. And there's no greater learning than being out there now. He's just got to find a way. There's predicted scores. With Gill out there, it could look a lot more than 11 and over too.
Up in the air, up in the air. Who wants it? Alex Carey, the man with the gloves, takes it. It's a bit of respite for the Australians. Cameron Green, after being hit over the roof, gets the centurion. And a wonderful innings from Shubman Gill comes to an end.
It's a wonderful innings there from Gill. Safe hands of Alex Carey. Not always great, those ones, to be under as a wicketkeeper. But the moment's all about Gill. Listen to this crowd now. He enjoys all his success that comes his way. what an innings, what a class man. But great learning also there from Cameron Green to still take a little bit of pace off that ball to the safe hands of Alex Carey.
Shubman Gill goes for 104. It's 243 for 3.
Look who's cheap now. You are, and millions more just like you. With CheapoAir.com. When you spend less booking your flight, you're free to do more, see more, and live more.
CheapoAir.com.
Go ahead, be cheap.
Small businesses are taking on what's next. Biz2 Credit gives you the funding that makes it all possible. So keep on doing what you're doing, you masters of what's next. We'll be right with you every step of the way. Biz2 Credit, funding what's next.
A wicket for Cameron Green, and it's Ishan Kishan. That average is fine. That strike rate is superb. 700s and a double hundred to his name. He's off the mark with a 6. 14 runs coming off that over. 249 for 3.
अगली बारी मम्मी जब इंडिया से आएंगी ना उनको बोलूंगा और ज्यादा लड्डू लेके आए बहुत कम है मैंने फोन ही कर देता हूँ अभी तो सो रही हूँ सुबह उठ जाएंगे ना तब मोतीचूर के लड्डू कब कहाँ से
तुम दिमाग क्यों खाते हो लड्डू खाओ
बरसों से प्यार जताने का तरीका हल्दीराम्स
Look who's cheap now. You are, and millions more just like you. With CheapoAir.com. When you spend less booking your flight, you're free to do more, see more, and live more.
CheapoAir.com.
Go ahead, be cheap.
Out there, no need of a sighter, just like we saw with Rahul. First ball, and he just helps it on its way. Makes it look easy. Both these batsmen fresh now, new to the crease.
Ishan Kishan in the middle order. Is that what you see as well, Ravi? Is that the role you would assign for him?
Well, he's shown a lot of maturity in that Asia Cup, in that innings against Pakistan. The composure he's shown, and he's carried on from there. So there's no reason why he can't adapt to that middle order.
Of the bat or of the pads, doesn't matter. It heads to the boundary.
This is where Australia have to be careful. They've broken the partnership. They've got the 2 centurions out. But there's still a lot of work to be done. Plenty of batting still to come for India. Just drifting onto the pads. He gets enough bat on that.
Be interested to see what Steve Smith's thinking here at the moment. You've got 2 new batsmen in the crease. You've got Josh Hazlewood, 3 overs left. You've got Adam Zampa with 2. Do you go to your most experienced bowlers and try to get a couple of wickets and get into your 5 or 6 down lead into those last 6 overs?
250 up for India, beginning of the 36th over. It's uncanny that the last time Steve Smith captain was in a test match, and that was in Indore. And he's been handed over the reins yet again in Indore.
It's another successful day for Australia as well. Going back to the question about Ishan Kishan, I like the point of difference he brings in the middle order. He's unorthodox. He'll take the game on, and sometimes you just don't know what you're going to get. But what he does do, he creates a lot of doubt in the opposition bowlers, and he's left-handed.
Much like what a lot Rishabh Pant did. You know, can surprise the opposition, can India number 1 in all 3 formats of the game at the moment. And good chance today to get a really big score. Somewhere close to 400, maybe even past 400. There's a partnership from here. Still Surya Kumar Yadav to come.
wait for the umpire's signal.
Well, interesting to see how Steve Smith, you mentioned about Zampa and how he's going to use him. Zampa has got 2 overs left. Now he'll be thinking, should he bowl him inside this power play or wait for the field to go out after 40 overs and probably use him in that period, the first 2 overs once the field goes out. And that'll be the dilemma he has as opposed to a new player coming in now.
Cut away, that's racing away. It's the practice pitches and no chance for the man at third, Adam Zampa.
Yeah, that man Adam Zampa, he take 2 steps to his right. Rahul timed that beautifully. It's a bit too much width there from Spencer. He's getting a lesson today on what lengths and lines to bowl here in India. If I'm Steve Smith now, though, I'm thinking about giving the ball to Josh Hazlewood and Adam Zampa. If these 2 guys are set, it's actually not going to matter who you bowl in the last 5 overs. So I'd be trying to think wickets now, and maybe then you can slow that onslaught of that last 5 to 6 overs.
Another good over for India. 11 runs coming off it. 36 gone, 260 for 3.
KL Rahul 28, looking very fluent. Just 16 balls for him to get there. Ishan Kishan a 6 and a single. He's got going too. How many can they get in these last 14 overs? 10 and over gets them to 400. We're looking too far ahead. And in a sense, we've got 2 fresh legs in, 2 fresh hands, 2 fresh minds. Just got the impression that maybe Shubman Gill, Shreyas Iyer a little tired.
Also on the threshold of 100, so that played a part, I'm sure. And because this is not one of your crunch games, a big game in the World Cup, I guess they were allowed to have that little time for themselves.
And 3 fresh voices in the commentary box.
Goes round the wicket to the left-hander, Cameron Green, 1 for 52 in his 7th over. He'll have a shot to every ball. Ishan Kishan has still got a fair bit of batting to come. So Surya Kumar Yadav, Ravindra Jadeja, Shardul Thakur. Surya Kumar Yadav just free. He talked about a little bit of relief after yesterday's innings. Wanted to play a little differently. Was far more orthodox. I love the straight drives that he played. Went back to the traditional V. He might be a little freer today. Another one from KL Rahul. You might say these boundaries are too short. They were bigger. It wouldn't have made any difference at all. This is the KL Rahul that we used to see in the IPL. Remember, he got a 50 or 14, 15 balls. Just hitting the ball so well.
Asia Cup as well, it was so impressive. 100 on a flat pitch, then a good 40 or 50 on a real turner. And towards the end, another responsible innings, and I just love him down the order. Just allows KL Rahul to look at the scorecard and play accordingly. Somebody else makes the plan for him, how he has to approach his innings. He doesn't have to do it on his own. It's such a selfless play. He looks at the scorecard and what's needed, tries to do it, and his form has been just brilliant. We've seen quite a few people from injury coming back. There's been Bumrah, Shreyas Iyer, but KL Rahul's performance after that long absence has been most heartening, most impressive.
And it will be actually interesting to know what he did in that long absence. It can be frustrating for you as a younger player. Or maybe you watched a lot of videos of where he got runs and he batted so with the freedom that we are seeing him bat now. Maybe that is something that has encouraged him. We don't know. I mean, but whatever it is, it's a great sight here.
It's such a crowded sort of group in that middle order. We've got so many options. Last World Cup 2019, there was no one. Now we've got plenty. Ishan Kishan, for me, needs to be in the middle. We saw how he got off the mark today. Left-hander also makes a difference. If India go for Surya Kumar Yadav and KL Rahul, you'll have 6 right-handers in the top 7, and in a crunch game that will be exploited by the opposition.
I think Rahul Dravid made a valid point actually. He said everyone's been talking about all this experimentation in the middle order. He said a year ago we knew who our number 4 and 5 was and who the backup was. All 3 got injured. But I think with Ishan Kishan is playing the role that India would have loved Rishabh Pant to play. And every time you think of Rishabh Pant, you think he's a lucky young man, but I hope he can come back and entertain us. Another big over. Another big over. 11 off it. It's 271 for 3 with 13 left.
When these business owners need cash fast, they turn to Biz2 Credit. From new equipment to funds to expand, Biz2 Credit is the place to get your small business funding. Get approved in as fast as 24 hours. Go to biz2credit.com/fastcash. Biz2 Credit, funding what's next.
Look who's cheap now. You are, and millions more just like you. With CheapOair.com, when you spend less booking your flight, you're free to do more, see more, and live more.
CheapOair.com.
Go ahead, be cheap.
And it didn't, happen for just, say, 10-15 minutes. The 1s and 2s, they batted like that for a good hour and more to have wickets in hand for the final flourish. And once the final flourish was needed, who better than Hardik and Ishan to be out there batting? So, for me, Ishan Kishan was a revelation batting at that position.
And you get a bright innings here. He's in good form, all right. And that's why you wonder about this 50-over format, and it's got some of the good elements of Test match cricket in it. There will be phases when you have to respect the ball. Maybe not as much on tracks like these, but in 270, 280 games, you respect the ball. There's a little bit of Test match cricket in it. And there's a lot of T20 cricket in it. But you don't have to go bang, bang, bang all the time. You check, see the flow of the games. What about this man, KL Rahul, 36 of 19s. Just see how he's set up for that shot. He's decided, I'm going to go for everything.
Also aware of the field. There was just one man in the deep. There was everybody else in the circle, so making room to hit it over the infield on the offside. Good delivery from the bowler because he followed him. Didn't really allow him a free swing of the arms.
That's odd. Pulled just in. Pulled just in. There's a substitute fielder. Aaron Hardy on the boundary. Actually, when the shot was played, I thought the fielder had it covered. And towards the end, he just had to put in that dive. Tells you how well Ishan Kishan had hit it.
Tremendous effort. still finding his feet. Spencer Johnson in international cricket. Saw a few glimpses of him steaming in Australia, bowling sometimes at 150 kilometers per hour. Can get that ball up there and get it to swing back into the right-hander. Has a mean short ball too. Today he's just struggled with his line, control of line to the right-handers over the wicket. Glad he came round the wicket to KL Rahul because he gets better control, different proposition for the batter.
It's a very tough test this though. If you're making your debut, you come here on this absolute road at Indore. While we're talking on the batting, I think we must put that in perspective. Don't take anything away from the batting of Shubman Gill or Shreyas Iyer, who batted with great charm, great skill. But you look at a track and you think, shouldn't there be something there for the bowler? Post-injury, KL Rahul, a century and a 58 not out versus Australia. He's got a start every single time. That's a much better over. 276 for 3. Just a couple of overs before we allowed an extra fielder out in the deep, so just looks like he might have a couple of Zampa's overs for afterwards, but he's given himself a lot of choices. The spinners between Zampa and Short have bowled out. He's gone back to Sean Abbott, who started off conceding a lot of runs. Has come back a little bit in all fairness. 6 overs, 1 for 43 for him. But just look at the economy rates on the right. This Josh Hazlewood, the best bowler today, 1 for 40. All the others well over 7, some over 8. Little mismatch between intention and outcome.
What an innings this has been from come on, he said. And everybody in that Indian dugout standing up and applauding because they know what he's gone through. And that's why that big applause. Never easy to come back from an injury. And while we're talking about these two, mustn't forget Bumrah as well. When Bumrah was bowling outswingers and reminding me of the great Kapil Dev. Late outswingers, and you know, he used to get the ball to move away a little bit, but what we saw of Bumrah in Sri Lanka was something else. So very good to see him come back as well.
This will clear the boundary as well, or just in. The intent once again. Oh, the umpire's given it 6. The intent once again is very aggressive.
TV umpire to director, we need to check on the boundary, please.
And at every possible opportunity, they're going to try and go over. Right, we're going to take a look at the Dharmasena's signal.
Yeah, it's a boundary 4. Boundary 4, Madan, boundary 4.
Well inside. Thought it was on the bounce. There's so much power in this man. Dropped it a little short. I think he's picked up on the fact that he's taking pace off now. So he's setting himself up for the slower ball.
He's anticipating it well, and you can see he's doing it off the front foot. And hitting it front of square just tells you how much time he has had. Yes, it was a slow delivery, all right, but how much time he had to put it away from that fielder.
Right, what are you going to do? Extra man out in the deep. There's a deep mid-wicket. There's deep square leg. Fine legs inside the circle. There's long on out too. And then deep point. You're only allowed 4 outside at this stage. And 7 balls from now, they'll have an extra man out. And at the moment, Australia giving the impression they cannot wait to have an extra fielder out. Deep backward square goes a little finer. It's taken pace off most of this over. Has Abbott. Does it again. At the end of it, it's been another very expensive over. 13 of it. With 11 to play, it's 289 for 3.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Go to InventHelp.com to get started today. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. The InventHelp data bank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Get started today. Go to InventHelp.com for free information.
When you come to Indore, you come expecting runs, and there's been a lot of those already. 400 very much on the cards here. 39 overs gone, 289. There's 111 to get there.
And you've got to say, stage ideally set for Surya Kumar Yadav. Just imagine after this, with no worries about playing overs out, and he's high on confidence. I think that was another massive emotional moment for Surya Kumar Yadav in the last game, getting that 50 in 50 overs cricket. He's just trying to find that 50 overs game that he had for many years, but just lost touch with it. Found it again, and just showed the tremendous commitment that he made in that innings of playing normally. I find that amazing when these modern players do that. You've seen change in the batting approach.
3 overs left for Hazelwood.
It's like me not playing a single defensive shot, Harsha. That's what Surya Kumar Yadav did. Not a single sweep. That's been talked about a lot, but have a look at these shots. We've got Sunil Gavaskar now watching this with us.
Yeah, I mean, the straight drive is the supreme insult to a fast bowler. And that's what we saw from Surya Kumar Yadav. The bowler taking his foot off as well. And then comes that the flick comes Scoop for a 6. Oh, now we've got another one.
Yes, we've got a sky now. So Tendulkar was first, then Dhoni, you would think, was the next. Is there a Rohit around? But there's certainly Surya Kumar Yadav. I think that's Dhoni.
One thing I would like to know is who is this travel agent? Because from Chandigarh to come here is not easy. All of you guys came by a chartered aircraft. Who is the travel agent?
There's a fielder in the deep. They're going to have to do a lot of running in there. Just in the last 11 overs, some of you might be saying, what on earth is he talking about? 400 from here. There's a game in which AB de Villiers came into bat in the 39th over and he made 162 all by himself thereafter.
Yeah, the last time we had a look at that 11 runs per over, it was showing 470, but India slowed down for about 5 or 6 overs. But 400 certainly on the cards with the kind of batters to come.
Batted came in the 34th over, batted 11 overs, 66 balls for 162. We saw something similar from Heinrich Klaasen the other night, who's going to be a fantastic player to watch at this World Cup.
Bit like Klusner was in 99 World Cup. Just on Rishabh Pant and Ishan Kishan, both were part of the India under-19 team, the World Cup team that played in Bangladesh. I remember covering that game. And somewhere I think Ishan Kishan has been inspired by the unbelievable success that Rishabh Pant had in all formats.
He's so inventive. He's so inventive, is KL Rahul. It's a word you normally use with Surya Kumar Yadav, but KL Rahul doesn't lose too much by comparison when he lets the shackles in his mind break down. A few cleaner hitters of the ball.
Yes, and he knew exactly where the fielders were. That man was in the 30-meter circle. There's one at mid-off in the 30-meter circle. There's only a deep cover on the offside. Otherwise, everybody is on the leg side because he uses that flick shot so well.
Kept very low, kept very low. Just wonder if there was a bit of bat on it. He whirled around and asked the umpire straight away. Captain saying, anybody there? What do you think? The ball had a great view. They'll take the review. It's time for the IDFC First Bank DRS then.
TV umpire to director. We have a player review for LBW. On-field decision is not out. It's a fair delivery. Can we start with front on spin vision, please? Can you play it one more time, please? Okay, ball seems to be missing the bat, but I would like to confirm with Ultraj if there is any bat involved. Okay, clear gap when the ball passes the bat. Take it all the way to the pad, please. Satisfied, no bat involved. Can we go for ball tracking, please? Pitching out to the off stump, impact in line, wickets missing. Original decision is not out. Kumar, you can stay with your decision of not out. I'll tell you when you're on screen.
The keeper had already walked across to the other end. You wonder about reviews.
Thank you.
296 for 3 with 10 overs left.
यार तुम हमेशा अपना भुजिया इतना जल्दी कैसे खत्म करते हो?
तुम कभी शेयर क्यों नहीं करती हो?
या तो था दिल्ली में मार्च 2012।
सीरियसली 2012 मार्च?
सच में उनके दिमाग में खलल लगता। अच्छा ले लो। वैसे मानना पड़ेगा, आज मैंने तुम्हें अमेरिका में दिल्ली वाली फील दे दी, है ना?
परसों से प्यार जताने का तरीका हल्दीराम्स।
The circle. And Adam Zampa comes in to bowl his last 2 overs. It's a trend that we've seen for a while now. Just give the spinner that extra support. Where are his 5? Deep points, deep cover, long off, long on and deep square for the left-hander. So But it was so high in the air, he had enough time. And so nice little flourish at this stage of the match. 31 from 18 is a good innings.
And these days, Surya Kumar Yadav gets the kind of cheer reserved for people like Virat Kohli and Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Just tried to hit this ball too hard. But that's his style. And just the way he went for the catch, Harsha, he wasn't dropping it. This is where temperament as well comes into play. His calm under the ball. Ishan Kishan gone, but Surya Kumar Yadav has come in. But that's a good innings. 302 for 4. Free batting for Surya. Few overs left. Plenty of wickets in hand. He's got the license to drive fast.
10 of the Zampa over, but a wicket in it. 9 left, 306 for 4.
My mom got us an Aquasana. She says it takes bad stuff out of the water and makes it healthier and tastier. She also says no water balloons inside.
Now up to 50% off at aquasana.com.
Ravindra Jadeja still to come. India wouldn't mind him getting a nice little cameo. Then Shardul Thakur, Ravichandran Ashwin. One more game in this series in Rajkot when India play pretty much the squad that will be in the World Cup, that they'll take to the World Cup, with Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Hardik Pandya, Kuldeep Yadav, Jasprit Bumrah all coming back in. Be interesting to see how that side gets picked. Whether Shardul Thakur keeps his place, whether Ravichandran Ashwin keeps his place, whether they throw in Washington Sundar for a game. The impression I get now after these first two games is I think they want to look more closely at Ashwin.
maybe the Indian team management missed a trick with not playing Washington Sundar in this game, because then he would have had a couple of matches, and then, you know, we would have seen, and the people who matter would have seen, a straightaway comparison between Ashwin and Washington Sundar, both off spinners who can bat, and then he would have maybe felt a little more confident making the final choice. But if Akshar Patel gets fit, who knows, India might stop thinking of an off spinner, because they always have a Kuldeep Yadav they can bring on to a left-hander.
Hazlewood with his 9th.
One shot that Surya loves to play is that thing that he does over third man. And that boundary today is 55 meters.
How far across has he walked? Now Hazlewood thinks he's onto something. Steve Smith's asking the wicket keeper. I think he might just have walked across a little bit.
Umpire's called not out, I think, with the review. It's taken a vote. In the end, no one was quite interested.
Which is fair enough, I guess. Ask the wicketkeeper, ask the bowler. But I think in a situation like that, it could be tight. So I think give the wicketkeeper a little bit more, because the bowler is more of an interested party than the wicketkeeper. So a wicketkeeper's vote should be 2. I think it would have gone down the leg side.
He's starting to make that movement across now. But he batted Sunny very much like this in the first 10-15 balls that he played in Mohali.
And that's a good move, because look, you've got the straighter bat coming through. So once that rhythm comes to you, then the unorthodox shots can be played. There it is, look at that. His head is very still. And when he's looking to play the innovative shot, sometimes it is often a premeditated shot.
There's 2 of this over so far. It's a good one from Hazlewood, who's been easily the pick of the Australian bowlers today.
And this perhaps is the most his best spell, where you can see that there's control over line, there's a hint of movement.
Here's something interesting though. Zampa's got 1 left, Hazlewood's got 1 after this. There's still 6 overs. He's got to get out of Abbott or Green or Spencer. Fine over. Very good over. 42 gone, 8 left, 309 for 4. Adam Zampa will bowl out. 9 overs, 1 for 65. They've gone after him a little bit. He's conceded 4 sixes. He's not been away that long. Played well in the Asia Cup. He's back again. But I guess when you're a fan, you don't see somebody for 2 or 3 games, you start missing him. He's back in Rajkot, Virat Kohli. Back in the format that he absolutely owns.
Look at that Tendulkar fan that we have at the ground.
It's an interesting line that I know he's not playing, okay, but you're here for him to do what?
To get on television.
Absolutely right. Virat's picture works.
It's a format that he owns. It's a format where he's among the all-time greats. That's a nice head. The foot was in, I think. But once again, it's tossed up beautifully from the leg spinner. And you can see how just about 9 or 10 quiet deliveries, and the batters feel the need to play the big shot.
Umpire to director. We have
So
an
I think
umpire
it's been a pretty quiet over, just one run.
stumping. It's a fair delivery. Can we start with the side on, front on spin vision? Front on spin vision, please. Okay, ball seems to be missing the bat, but I'd like to confirm with Ultraj if there is any bat involved. Satisfied. Take it through, please. Just could you roll it? Yeah, satisfied. No bat involved. Can you give me the side on for stumping, please? Can you just zoom that up for me, please? Yeah, split screen will be fine. That will be fine. Thank you. Okay, I'm satisfied some part of the foot is grounded behind the line. I'm ready for the big screen decision.
I think it was a millimeter at best. I think it was a millimeter at best.
Very quick reflexes. Not easy because he was off balance to be able to drag his foot back. Never easy. But he did that really well, Surya Kumar Yadav.
This is when you start looking at how close the ball has been collected by the keeper and how quickly the bails have been whipped off. Because Mahendra Singh Dhoni, would Surya have had a chance if Dhoni was the keeper?
No, because the hands would have been close to the stumps. He's bowling well here. Australia up starting to minimize the damage in these last 2 or 3 overs.
It's his final over as well. And he's given away just 1 run so far. Adam Zampa.
Partnership towards the tail end of the innings, 8 of 15 balls. Two runs of this over, so 2 really good overs by Australia. 7 overs left, 3-1-1 for 4.
Still tying your shoes? It's 2023. Hands-free shoes are the next big thing. No more hands. Tying, pulling, heel crushing. And once they're on, they stay on. Don't take my word for it. They have over 13,000 5-star reviews and a 30-day money-back guarantee. A style or color for every personality. Time to step up your shoe game and step into Kizzicks. Get 15% off today at kizzick.com/TV.
7 to go. 311. For 4. So Cameron Green into the attack. Australia having a good last couple of overs, but India nicely placed here from where they can look to try and get at least 70, close to 70, somewhere between 60 and 70. That post a score around 375 then. But here's Green. And they start off well here with a 6. That's one of his favorite shots.
He needed that, didn't he? It's beautiful. It struck with some power in the air. Just always looks to scoop it. And just with the angle of Cameron Green down the leg side, he set up for that shot, didn't he? He was nice and open. Opened up the front of the body and just helped it on its way.
Also someone like Surya Kumar Yadav at the crease, the bowling plans of the bowlers go haywire. Because he can come in, shovel or play that kind of a shot. He can also scoop the same ball if it's slightly wide outside over third man. He's got great wrist. So as a bowler, you're wondering, where do you go at him? Where do you stop him?
Yeah, a couple of great cricket shots. Cameron Green's just got to be aware of these shots. He really has to bowl, I think, a little fuller outside off stump. Because Yadav actually signals he's going to do it. He gets back in the crease, he opens up, he gets right back and low and gets underneath it. Green's got to have an answer, and I think it's full and wide.
There he goes inside out beautifully. 3 sixes of 3 balls. And it's Surya Kumar Yadav.
So that he can play these shots.
He forces the bowler to have a scrambled brain as well. Number 4! That's the biggest! 4 balls, 4 sixes. And it's Surya Kumar Yadav.
Come on, 6 sixes. Ravi, I think, did you hit 6 sixes?
Yes, I did.
And he called Yuvraj's 6 sixes too.
It's a common denominator, Ravi Shastri. That's tremendous batting. This time in front of square, just to pick up.
As mentioned, a scrambled brain. So you can see now what will make it worse is you've got three of them there together. There is Hazelwood, there's Smith having a chat with the bowler. And what will be going through his mind now? At this time, the best option might be right up in the block hole. All you know, Surya Kumar Yadav might have an answer to that as well. 4 balls, 4 sixes. Here's number 5. Good piece of fielding. Crossover for the single. Already 25 of this over.
I think Green just got it wide enough there that he just couldn't get any power on that shot.
Yes, sanity returns to the proceedings with that single. After 4 consecutive sixes. Just for the moment, though. It's a real big over, this. Just what India needed. 26 of the over. 337 for 4. So 6 overs to go. India looking good here to get a big score. Hovering around that 400-run mark. 49 Rahul. He's played really well too. It's come off just 34 balls. Not easy to come in that middle order and then up the ante straight away. He started off with a 6 and then hit one massive one out of the ground over deep mid wicket. Takes the single. And a half century here for KL Rahul.
Now that's a good innings. Not easy to keep the momentum going when you see Shreyas Iyer and Shubman Gill smack at the wall parts. The ball's getting a little softer, but he came in, just kept the momentum going. It's a good innings. Really good innings. 50 in Mahali now backs it up with another 50 in indoor. 35 deliveries, that's the key. That strike rate.
And the anticipation goes up with Surya on strike. Suddenly the bowlers are thinking, the captain's thinking that taking extra time to set the field, but it's not about the field, it's about where you bowl and where he can go.
Sliced away to the fence. Such quick hands he has, generates tremendous back speed. 4 sixes these.
There's the first one, the flick, and then a little finer, the scoop. You see him getting right across inside the line, then over mid-off, and then the flick over square leg. The big helicopter flick and finish. Very difficult to bowl to. And the next over, he slashed it before through that offside.
The steely wrists, so flexible. Third man will stop this. But what's on view today is the quality of this Indian batting lineup, especially in these conditions, and the quality of stroke play. All very clean, very orthodox. In between you have Ishan Kishan and then Surya Kumar Yadav, and a nice headache for Rahul Dravid and Vikram Rathore. Especially with Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli coming back, who should be the top 6. One headache of sorts. Surya Kumar Yadav has to push for a place in the side. He'll get into most sides in world cricket.
Yeah, I think that's the big dilemma for the Indian team, isn't it? You've got someone like Hardik Pandya and his all-roundedness, someone like Sky, does he fit in? Because every team knows, every opposition knows, with Sky in the side, India is that much more dangerous, because he can just turn a game around on its head with that kind of batting. As you rightly said, the bowlers are in a tizzy. They go haywire when he's on song. And so you've got all the advantages of having him, but the thing is, everybody is getting runs. Who do you get in the playing 11?
If you're a neutral now, Mark, you've seen a lot of batting sides around the world. What do you make of this batting lineup in these conditions?
Well, I tipped India to win the World Cup, and it's because they've got such a great squad, so much depth. They cover all areas. They've got power batting, they've got fast batting, touch batting. Hardik Pandya gives you the genuine all-rounder. You've got 3 good fast, very good fast bowlers, good spin options. It's a complete squad, really. It's just whether they handle the pressure of the home grounds, home crowds.
That'll be the key.
Weren't you the selector for Australia when you last came to Indore, if I remember correctly, Mark?
I was, yeah. Yep. Can't remember. Did we win or lose the game? Probably lost, I think. Well, India won the last 6 50-over games here.
But Australia won the test match here. Might have lost the one-day game. And that was March earlier this year. Steve Smith captained that side. Misses out there. 345 for 4.
My parents got an Aquasana. It filters bad stuff out of the water, makes it taste great, so they told me to drink more water. They also said stop using so many cups.
Now up to 50% off at Aquasana.com.
By unveiling the significance of your birth chart, I can reveal your innate qualities, talents, and life path. Astrology and numerology is the key to unlocking your full potential. Call me today to begin your journey towards fulfillment.
Five overs left. You'd have to be aiming at 2 a ball if you're batting now. It gives you 60. That gives you 405.
They'll be disappointed if they don't get that in the last 5 overs where they batted. At least another 55 from here. They have to be around that 400 mark.
Oh, Green, 11 short of 100.
Not the 100 he wanted. He wanted it with the stick, not with the ball. And he'll get a chance later. But yeah, it's been tough going for him. It's been tough going for nearly all the bowlers. Hazlewood's been the best. He's just hit the pitch from a high angle. I'm surprised Matt Short hasn't bowled more. Just the 2 overs. I thought he bowled well in Mohali. I know it wouldn't have been easy for him against predominantly right-handers, but he bowls around the wicket, so he bowls with a different angle. I think he's been underused today.
Misses out again, 3 in a row. And he's looking to go really square, so not easy.
Told you that's the place to bowl to him, full and wide.
Basically, you're saying bowl loose deliveries at him, and he's going to miss had he bowled good deliveries to him, he's going to hit you.
Yeah, especially with how powerful he is on that onside with those scoop shots. So it does make sense. You can't generate that much power when you bowl that line, that length outside, and you can set your field. Short third man and a man at square third man. Oh, just clearing, short third. Might have just got his fingertips to it.
I'll tell you what, he normally catches those, Sean Abbott. I know he's got a split webbing on one of his hands, but he's a freakish outfielder, Sean Abbott. I think he's a little disappointed with himself. It was a tough one. Any time the ball's over your head and travelling away from you, it's very tough to line up your hand with the ball. It's a slower ball, so he did well to hit it there. Yadav. Let's just see if he did get a hand on it. Yeah, it's gone through his hands, so he will be disappointed with that. Tough one.
And the 350 comes up with that boundary. One bounce over the rope. Another 50-run partnership for the Indians. And Cameron Green now, he's conceded more runs than any other Australian bowler in one-day internationals against India. He's closing in on 100.
Yeah, not a record you want to have, but he's just served up a half volley there. He's got his length wrong. Just not quite nailing that Yorker. It's not easy to do under pressure at the back of an innings, but if you don't do it, you're going to go for boundaries.
Yeah, the previous highest conceded was by Clint McKay. He's in fact the bowling coach of the Australian team. Is here in place of Dan Vettori.
One thing he can say, though, Karthik, is he can walk up to Cameron Green and say, I know what it feels like. You've just upstaged me. We'll have better days. Zampa just conceded over 100, 113 in South Africa. Klassen and Miller went mad. Bowled in. On target this time. He looks up at the heavens. Cameron Green, after The ball has struck the stumps, but a good innings from the Indian captain, KL Rahul. 52 from 38.
Another off-pace delivery. He hasn't had much strike lately, KL Rahul, and he's just lost a bit of rhythm. Cameron Green goes, thank goodness for that. It didn't go for 4 or 6, and I've got a pole as well. He picks up his second wicket. Rahul makes a handy little 52 from 38. 355 for 5.
So Surya Kumar Yadav now on strike. Sean Abbott should be wide. Ravindra Jadeja has come out to the middle. So there's depth in this Indian batting lineup. But what India want is if he gets a good hit here. Nice little hit in these 4 overs left. He can play a cameo. It'll be great. Lovely shot. That is a tremendous shot for 6. He hits it in unusual area, Surya Kumar Yadav. And that's what makes him so dangerous.
You got to say the shot was on, wasn't it? Just looking at the field, mid-off up inside the circle, and just gave him a bit of width. And that's the art of batting. You hit the ball where the fieldsmen aren't. Well, it went for 6 anyway, but it's the right direction to hit the ball. And it just brought about a change in the field. So mid-off will drop back, square leg's going to come up.
That's his speciality. He watches that field. Now mid-off gone back, square leg come in. He'll look to go over square leg or over the onside. He's that kind of a player, which means he'll get into positions early, even before the release, to try and get the ball there. Good delivery there. And back-to-back half centuries for Surya Kumar Yadav. He's just about smelling the coffee in the one-day game.
It's the right time to get into form just before the tournament. Australia have been the opposite. You know, they've lost 3 in a row in South Africa. They've lost in Mohali. Got a big task ahead tonight to try and halt that form. Although it's not Australia's best team, you still want some confidence within the squad.
Nicely struck straight to the fielder. You want now Surya Kumar Yadav to get as much of the strike as possible. He can create havoc if he gets another 10 or 15 balls.
Yeah, he's been the undisputed boss of T20 cricket for a while now, and it's good to see him getting into the act in 50-over cricket as well. That's one of the reasons why he was picked. He's got a lot of maturity. He's been around the blocks for a while, playing different formats, playing different roles for different teams.
Wow. You mentioned that. Square leg pulled up. He'll be looking in that area. It's not taking him long. But look at the positions he gets into and the work with his hands.
Yeah, that's super batting. He signals what he's going to do, and sometimes the bowlers freeze when they're looking at the batsman. They lose actually the context. What they need to do was a full toss, but you still got to hit it in the right area. This is where you need to nail your Yorker, and Australia just have not done it. I know the batting's great, but you've got to nail that Yorker.
And that's one of the reasons he's a special player. The best set plans can go awry because of his ability. He gets into positions, you make the bowler think that you're going to play him somewhere, and you actually have the ability to play him somewhere else. That is what Sky is capable of.
Square leg back, mid-off up. And what he was trying there was to scoop it over short third. .50 coming of just 25 balls. Enjoy that.
Can't forget the two shots he played, one during the IPL, which was over third man, one in Mount Maunganui in the course of his 100 against New Zealand, both over third man.
He contact placed it better. Third, short third, fine, and it's gone between the keeper and short third to the fence. He's motoring along, 58 from 27, 3-7-2 for 5.
Dang it, Don, I said deeper! My thumbs are killing me! Why don't you just try the new Chirp Wheel XR for extreme relief? Oh, my goodness, this feels so good! When muscles are either too tired, tight, or weak, they form little muscle knots or trigger points, and they hurt. Chirps developed 3 new wheels with unique textures to replicate the best-in-class deep tissue massage.
Three to go. And it's Surya Kumar Yadav who's entertaining one and all. 58 from just 27. It's Jadeja on strike though. Here's Hazelwood. That's 4. Third man's up. Point is up. And there was width on offer.
When it rains, it pours. 47 boundaries so far. This is the 48th over. Now Ravindra Jadeja, Ravi just mentioned him. India would be mighty pleased if he can play a cameo. Very capable himself. He hasn't had the kind of hits with the others getting amongst the runs.
At one stage it looked like Australia are actually going to drag India back to a total around 350, 360. It's looking more like 400 now. The last 4 or 5 overs have just been so damaging, and such great skill from the Indian batsman.
That's where he can be so dangerous. One of the most lethal players in the world. He can be in these final overs. That's why for him to fight for a place in this Indian team just tells you how strong this Indian batting lineup is and the problems the team management have in selecting that 11. He'll walk into any side in the world. Just that X-factor quality about his batting. Should be a wide. Yes, when he started his innings, he was struggling with his timing. 3 of 8 and 4 of 9. Now, if you look at it, fielder not on the boundary. He was looking for that. There was no deep mid wicket. From Australia's point of view, they should also believe that these are good batting conditions and should come out with a positive attitude. Good batting performance here would help them in a big way.
No, exactly right, Ravi. The pitches are a crack at a bat on, and you'd think with the lights on, the night air, it might just skid on a little. It got quite slow through the middle period when the ball got a bit softer, sort of around the 35 over mark, but excellent batting conditions. Australia, what they won't want to do is bat like they batted in Mohali, where everyone got starts but no one went on with it. They'll need some 100, maybe 200s or some 80s and 90s to be competitive, so they've just got to convert those starts. A lot of the players looking good touch in Mohali.
That's put away in the gap for 4. And this is India's highest score against Australia in one-day internationals. Previous highest 383 in Bangalore, 2013.
Not an easy ask of any bowler to bowl to Surya Kumar Yadav without any protection at mid-wicket, and that's exactly what he has done. And you put pressure on the bowler, you walk in, and then you force him to bowl to your strengths.
It's the ideal line, actually. It's not easy to keep repeating it. 384 for 5. Especially with Surya still there.
I actually thought he wouldn't get a ball again, Mark, to be very honest, because sometimes as a captain also you want to protect the confidence of a bowler. Never a good feeling to go over 100 in 10 overs. So with more options, I possibly thought Steve Smith would have said, nah, you have a spell. You're too short of 100 and we need you.
The crowd right behind Yadav. As I've always mentioned, he takes a look at the field. What's the option here, Mark?
Well, mid-off. I think third man's not an option because I think Green's going to bowl a lot of slow balls, so it's very difficult to get the power to get it down to deep third man. So I think over mid-wicket or over mid-off. They're the two areas.
Area as well. Oh, very hard. David Warner, that ball came to him quickly.
There's a magical 100 for Cameron Green. Fourth Australian to achieve that.
Good solid batting performance today. India were put into bat. It was hot and humid. Got off to a brisk start. And then the partnership between Shreyas Iyer and Shubman Gill set a beautiful platform. Both batsmen getting 100. And Rahul coming and getting a 50. Surya Kumar getting a 50. Ishan Kishan playing a nice little innings. Contributions all round. Now looking for a strong finish.
There was only probably a couple of quiet periods when Shubman Gill was getting towards his 100. Shreyas Iyer not as slow when he got towards his 100. That's about it. Shubman Gill took his time early on, didn't he? He took a little while to get going, but they batted well in partnerships because Shreyas Iyer was going hard from the get-go at the other end.
Misses out. So 1 over to go. It's 389 for 5.
Dang it, Don, I said deeper. My thumbs are killing me. Why don't you just try the new Chirp Wheel XR for extreme relief? Oh, my goodness, this feels so good. When muscles are either too tired, tight, or weak, they form little muscle knots or trigger points, and they hurt. Chirps developed 3 new wheels with unique textures to replicate the best-in-class deep tissue massage.
So the innings timer suggests Australia are behind, which means they'll have to have another man in the circle. And this could be perfect from India's point of view.
Don't they allow for sixes into the crowd? We've been chasing the ball all afternoon.
Gets the single. He'll come on strike now. There are 5 in the ring, so there's an open spot created because of that extra fielder coming in.
The tough thing now for Australia, obviously they're going to chase a big total, but you've been out there in the heat all afternoon, so mentally and physically, you're going to be battling a bit. So, this little break, you've really got to freshen up and get back on track, because it's not easy when you're out there in the heat. Then you've got to go and bat as well.
Not easy at all, especially when you come from the climates you come from the southern hemisphere straight into the northern hemisphere. It's sapping on the body, takes a lot out of you. A poor delivery, gets the treatment. Another 6. And this had pace on it, and that pace was used.
Yeah, it's just a free hit down the leg side, and Sky Yadav did actually well to catch up with it because it was quite quick. And tell you what, it's very, very close to over hip height as well.
I haven't called it. Very close. That could have been a no ball. That. Finds the fielder this time. And he's played a blinder, 71 from 36.
Yeah, and this sort of innings takes you from a really good score to an exceptional score. So India probably looking at 370 maybe without this innings, and all of a sudden they're pushing up to 400.
Two balls to go. They take the single. So 1 ball left in the innings. India too shy of 400. And it's Surya Kumar Yadav who will play that final ball. You know what the crowd wants and what they're cheering for. They want the ball in their direction. Now he's taken the pace off in the final few balls, and he's been successful. The one that had pace on it went for 6. Now this is the final ball of the innings. Mid-off up. Cover up. Contact. It's swung away on the onside. And they'll settle for the single, which means India finish their 50 overs on 399 for 5, which will mean the target for Australia will be 400.
Yet another brilliant display of batting from the Indian batters, missing quite a few regulars in this playing 11. Suryakumar Yadav, back-to-back 50s. Back-to-back 50s for KL Rahul, the skipper. Two wonderful hundreds by Shubman Gill and Shreyas Iyer. India have racked up a massive score. Indore, known for big runs, yet again has provided us with all the entertainment.
Yes, it's a happy Indian dressing room. Real good batting performance. Consistent all the way down the order to finish on 399 for 5. So this is the highest score by India against Australia in one-day internationals. And I don't think any teams chased 400 here and won a contest. Not many in the history of the one-day game. So it's a tall ask for Australia. But one thing they would believe in, that these are good batting conditions and they should come out throwing some punches. So you can see the Australian think tank, Pat Cummins, not playing today. He's having a chat with Andrew McDonald, coach of the Australian team. And these are learnings. They would learn a lot from this game going into the World Cup. They would feel what they had to see is better. They saw it now. Then once the World Cup has started. And you can see a pretty animated chat there between Andrew McDonald and Pat Cummins. Yes, we've got the Centurion with us. Played really well today. He's back in the side. Shreyas Iyer, you were thrilled to bits, but did the cramp in your hand stop you from celebrating fully?
Yes, it definitely did. And even after that, while I went into bat, my focus was on the cramps because it wasn't allowing me to hold on firm. And also, when the bowler bowled, when I was almost out, caught and bowled, I realized that my top hand wasn't working. And then, when I was reaching the boundary line, I just decided that, okay, I'm going to try and smash every ball. It doesn't matter whatever is going to happen at this point of time, but I felt that I've got the team at the right position, and I see to it that I put on that beast mode, but unfortunately it didn't work out. But I was happy throughout the way I planned out this innings right from the start. So, yeah.
Now talk us about the start of your innings, because you came out with real intent and you struck the ball beautifully.
Yeah, my mindset was just to play the ball in the V. I wasn't focusing a lot on hitting the ball hard. I just wanted to time it and see to it that how the wicket is playing. It was definitely there. I was experiencing variable bounce, and other batsmen as well. We were talking about that at the start. But thankfully, we were able to take that momentum towards our side and see to it that we built in a good partnership. Shubman and I, we played pretty decent knock in the middle, and I felt that we laid a great platform, steadied the ship for the team, and yeah, from there on, I feel a lot of the batsmen came in and they just expressed themselves.
Not easy when you have a partnership of that sort where both batsmen go head to head.
Sorry, Ravi bhai.
Not often do you see in a partnership like that both batsmen going head to head.